I think it's safe to say the PS5 Pro reveal just keeps creating unrest within the gaming world. And we might have just seen the start of it all. But let's break that all down up next. What's going on, guys? It's Kalo, and I'm here to give you the lowdown on all things gaming. And if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content. Drop a like on the video, and welcome to the Level Up. So the PS5 Pro is the latest thing in the gaming world that's ruffling feathers, and that's rightfully so. The main gripe amongst most fans today is the astronomical price for the console itself, clocking in at around $700, maybe more depending on the add-ons you get. Some of this includes a disc tray because, let's not forget, this console stock as is all digital. And who could forget that lovely little stand that makes your console stand upright? And yes, I'm still pissed about that. As a little bonus story here today, I want to speak on the fact that after the PS5 Pro was announced, people rushed to storefronts like Amazon, and that's all to get themselves a PS5 Pro disc drive, making it one of the top selling items within the gaming category. So it's pretty safe to say people are either prepping to get this console, or most likely the scalpers are hard at work already. Normally, if you watch this channel, I tend to be more positive when it comes to any and all gaming headlines. And I always try to find the good in everything because Lord knows we actually need it. But the more I think about this presentation, the more I think of how bad it actually was. The footage that was shown side by side with the PS5 graphics was compressed, and that's all for the sake of streaming it on YouTube. And I really think it's tough to make out the changes that were made on the PS5 Pro. Let's not forget this idea that the games that were shown off were older titles. Now, I do think there's nothing wrong with showing older games, more specifically, ones that need that major enhancement that the PS5 Pro could offer up. Titles like Spider-Man 2, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, and The Last of Us Part 2 really weren't in desperate need of that facelift, at least at the moment. And I also want to say real quick, showing off titles like Black Myth Wukong or any of their newer stuff, maybe that could have went a long way. This also could have been a great moment to reintroduce older titles to the general public. Again, I'm talking about Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, or I'll throw in Killzone just because I'm feeling cheeky. I feel like those titles could really use a major facelift, and this could be the prime opportunity for PlayStation to reintroduce older IPs to a new generation of gamers. But as of right now, I'm hearing rumors that the original video for this console's reveal had 162,000 dislikes, and that number is growing. Also, real quick, this is going to be another add-in to the video because I went back to check the numbers just to make sure the dislikes were there, and wouldn't you know it, the dislikes are now hidden. Now, things have somehow even gotten more spicy when it comes to the PS5 Pro, and we could accredit that to GTA 6. I know that sounds a little weird, but let me explain. So when we look past these older titles that were shown off, some people still held out hope that prospects for games like GTA 6 would be a big selling point for the PS5 Pro. With a console of this stature and power, it has all the makings to be the best place to play a game like GTA 6. Well, that was up until recently when Digital Foundry voiced their take on this matter. Now, Richard Ledbetter sat down with IGN to talk about this prospect even more, and what they've come to discover is this is a CPU problem. Quote, Grand Theft Auto games have always run complex simulations that push the CPU hard, which is why every GTA game has initially launched on their target platforms at 30 FPS or lower. Oh, there's that magic number. He continued, the PS5 Pro uses the same CPU as the PS5, and it would be extremely challenging to hit 60 FPS if the base PS5 version is targeting 30 FPS. This isn't a GPU problem. It's a CPU problem. Of course, all bets are off if Rockstar is targeting 60 FPS on the standard PS5, but we've seen no evidence so far to suggest this. So this kind of begs the question, is GTA 6 not running at 60 FPS on that PS5 Pro a deterring factor? Now I want to spend the tail end of this video sharing my 2 cents on this even more. So if you don't want to hear the rant, I totally understand. Now, I said in yesterday's video, this all kind of reminds me of that PS3 reveal, and I want to expand on that a little more. Back then, Sony was very arrogant when it came to these kind of things, and rightfully so. They had the market on lockdown, and they could do whatever they want. So this brings me to today because as it stands right now, Xbox continues to step on rakes. And that's all in the words of IGN's Ryan McCaffrey, and I honestly couldn't have said it any better. Now, this $700 price tag is believed to have been spawned out of the lack of competition within the market. It's been clear that Xbox isn't making a model like this, and it's safe to say there really isn't a console on the pros level for a few more years. That's also not factoring in this idea that if Xbox bails on exclusive games, who knows what'll happen at that point. And this all kind of stems back to a point I made across a few videos, and that's competition is good in gaming. We need these larger companies in this industry to keep each other in check, and you can clearly see the lack of competition here is showing in the PS5 Pro pricing. Basically, long story short, if Xbox did have plans to release a pro-level Series X, or whatever you want to call it, it would then force Sony's hands to make a good product and introduce that console at a more competitive price point. But with all that being said, I'm going to pass this off to you guys. How are you feeling about the PS5 Pro? But that about does it here. I've been Kalo, I gave you the lowdown in all things gaming, and if you're new here, feel free to subscribe to this channel for weekly video game news content, drop a like on the video, and this has been the Level Up.